What happened to
Thank you, everybody, for coming. This is just growing into a great event. Obviously, the last 2 years, the games have been spectacular. On the ice product has been very good. The crowds have been very good. But you know, this is a brainchild that Rick and I had with our athletic departments and with our alumni associations years ago. And we were hoping that we could grow it into a marquee event to showcase two great hockey programs, two great institutions, but also create a real special experience for our student athletes, something that you're always looking to do to help elevate your student athletes' experience and elevate both programs. And you know, I mean, certainly Rick and I have talked about it. I mean, this is just a real special event for our young men to get to be a part of. They got to play in front of 6,000 2 years ago. They got to play in front of 8,000 last year. Now this year, you know, all indications are that we could expect upwards of 10,000. And you know, that's the type of situation as a coach you're looking to help put your young men in, help prepare us for the end of the season, for the playoffs, obviously playing against the national champions in Union, our biggest rival. And none of it would be possible without the support of everybody here today. These are two teams playing that have great fan bases, but to grow this into a 10,000, 12,000 person event, that won't happen without the great work of Bob Belber, without both athletic departments, without Executive McCoy, without the mayors, McCarthy, Sheehan, and Rosamelia, and all of you being here today. It really, we can't even describe how important that is, how much we appreciate the support, and what it means for our student athletes to be able to have this experience in downtown Albany and get to play in front of this type of a crowd. So just on behalf of our program, thank you very much to everybody. I look forward to the game on Saturday. Now introducing the national champion coach, Rick Bennett.
Yeah, we're excited about it, but more than anything, appreciative of it. I think that, you know, we're very grateful for the support we receive from the fans of Troy, from our fans of RPI. Obviously, Union has great support as well, and then you need more than that though to fill this building, and then that's the the extra hockey fans, that's the mayors of all three communities, and just everybody coming together, the alumni associations, to make this a real marquee event for our student athletes, and we're just really appreciative of it.
If you are able to get, you know, you'd mentioned up there potentially upwards of 10,000 fans here. Have you and your team been in another, what could you say is the closest comparison as to an environment like that you've played in?
Well, you know, last year I think we played at Minnesota in front of 10,000. You know, we've played, you know, we play a lot of big games, not only in our league, but non-conference, and, you know, playing at Michigan this year, you know, playing at Notre Dame. And I think that all of those things put you in position to handle these types of environments. You know, I think going on the road and having to play in front of 6,000 at Michigan, 6,000 at Notre Dame, you know, those types of things help prepare you for these type of events. And then these type of events help prepare you for hopefully getting into the ECAC finals and into the national tournament, as it did for Union last year. So you can handle the excitement and the crowd and the media attention and all the things that come with those big types of games. So it's a real step forward for both teams in that regard.
Yeah, what does it say, if anything, about the fact that you guys, you play each other 3 times a year. This is the one that's not for the points, and yet this seems to be one of the more exciting ones of the bunch.
It's something that, you know, even when Nate Lehman was here, we talked about this, and we talked with our athletic directors about this, and then when Rick got the job, we always believed that we could create something that would rival what UAlbany and Siena have. We don't want to beat UAlbany and Siena and the attendance. That doesn't matter. They have something special. When I've been to a UAlbany Siena game, it's special down here when those two teams play, and it's a special night for those student athletes, and that's something that we wanted to create. And like I said, you know, we're just appreciative that both schools and all the communities have gotten on board for it.
I know you're so sick of answering these questions. You guys have already played each other again twice, and everything was fine. But being back in this building, it kind of brings back those memories of last year's Mayor's Cup and what happened at the end there. dignitaries were calling it passion. You know, I can assume that we're not going to expect to see the same thing again. But going back to that, what do you guys call it?
Yeah, it's passion. I think the mayors are dead on. It's passion, it's competitiveness, and it boiled over. And sometimes it does in our sport. And as we've said before, none of us are proud of it. That's not the way we want our programs to be portrayed. That's not the relationship that Rick and I have. We have a very good relationship, and we got together shortly after that to make sure that it stayed that way. And I think how you saw both teams react and both coaches react post-game showed that. But these two teams dislike each other. And when you play as many times as we do, and you dislike each other as much as we do, both teams play physical, competitive hockey. Sometimes those things boil over, and that was the situation last year. I think we're going to see, I don't think we'll see that, and I don't want to see that. But I think we're going to see an extremely physical, hard, competitive game where the emotions are going to be high again.
Situation when we came here last year was that Union had the best of RPI for so long, and then you guys got that game, and you got the first two this year. How do you keep that streak going?
Well, it's going to be hard to. I think that last year, we were desperate. It was almost like enough's enough, and we need to end this losing streak against them. And obviously now we've been fortunate to win a few games and win a few games recently as well, and they haven't, and they're going to be desperate. And a lot of times in physical contact collision sports, the team that has more wants, more desperation, more will to put themselves in harm's way, to be physically involved. A lot of times in our sport or in a sport like football, those are the teams that win. So we need to make sure that our will to be a real hard-nosed, physical, tough team to play against is there. Because what we saw this weekend is our recipe for success. Limit teams to 18 to 25 shots on goal, defend our tails off, try to stay out of the penalty box, and chip away to get to 3 goals a game like we've been trying to all year. And we can't lose sight of that just because it's a big game against Union.
Well, it's super exciting just because, the rivalry that we have and the fact that we're going to have probably 10, 12,000 fans here. It's the most that probably most of these, any of us have played in front of. And first year Union won, second year we won, so it's always a close game, it's always a battle with them, so it's gonna be tons of fun.
How do you describe this rivalry? I mean, we saw it boil over a little bit last year, but your coach was saying you guys just don't like each other. I mean, it's as simple as that. You don't necessarily want it to end up the way that it did last year, but how do you describe this rivalry?
I would say it's intense. At every game, both teams get up to play. It's always a hard-fought game. It's always just such a battle, and it's tons of fun. It's always good to play your rival, and it makes you better. And playing in these big games really helps you out later on down the stretch in playoffs and things like that.
It seems like at this point last year we were talking to you guys about the fact that Union just had your number. Then you won this game last year, and you beat them twice already this year. How do you keep that streak going?
Well, you know what? Every game's a new game, and I think basically we just got to try and treat it the same as any other game, just by working hard and making sure that we do get up for this game, which I know we will, and I know they will, because of the rivalry and just the atmosphere that we're going to have. So it's going to be really intense, and it's going to be fun.